What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lean and Mean Academy, where we talk about one truck, big profits. Today is a very special day. I got my boy Cody Yarbrough here on the line. What is up, Cody?
What is going on? It looks like you're in the Florida Keys.
Looks like you're on Legacy Loadout over here.
I'm here in the Southeast Softwash Missile Silo. That's where we're at.
The Southeast Softwash bunker. I love it.
The bunker, baby.
That's right. So today we wanted to come to you, talk to you about 4 things you need to start a successful pressure washing business. But before we do that, Cody and I have an event coming up at the end of this month, the Serious Starter Boot Camp Training. Cody's going to be teaching you soft wash techniques, proper chemical usage, plant mitigation, all the really good things that you're going to need to get your business up and running. I'm going to take a whole nother day and teach you your marketing techniques and make sure you get in your Google My Business proper and how to rank yourself as a starter in this business. Make sure you click the link in the description, first link in the comments. But Cody, tell me our first thing that we're talking about here to start a serious successful pressure washing business, man. What is the first thing that we need?
All right. So coming up with my list here, I was thinking about back when I transitioned from doing it part-time as kind of extra money over to, and I'm going to have to take this plate carrier off, guys. I'm just wearing this to be goofy. So it's sitting in here in the office and I haven't worn it in a long time. Let me throw my plate carrier on, but it's extremely uncomfortable. So we'll take it off. But when we moved from part-time into full-time washing back in 2017, it goes from kind of hobby extra money to holy crap, I've got to make a certain amount of money to pay my bills. And now, we're just growing that. We're kind of still making that snowball still going with the company now. But I'd say the number one thing you got to have is you just got to have hustle. You got to have, some guys call it grind. You call it a mindset, whatever you want to call it. And Aaron's got this. Aaron is probably the better example to talk about this because literally had the luxury. Aaron will call it the blessing of starting at the bottom. And if you got a little money or you're kind of pissy about it and you've got a little wiggle room as far as time and cash flow, you may not develop that hustle that you really need. When you're at the bottom of the barrel, you'll figure out a way to make it happen, whether it's getting the job done or selling jobs, locking in jobs. I did this the other day and I'm going to do it again and video it. But I told Emily, I said, I can go out and before lunch on a Saturday, I can book $1,000 job. You want to bet? And she was like, well, no, because I know you can, because we used to do that all the time. Like we just go in the morning, drive to Auburn or Noonan, Georgia or Peachtree City, and we drive around and I'd cold knock doors. And you know what? We'd book 2 or 3 and I'm like, all right, let's go eat. So I'd say hustle. Hustle's a big one, man. What do you think?
Man, I think that I realize I'm not a huge fan of the quote unquote hustle culture. I think that's developed over the past, 5 to 6 years, especially with the Gary V and that thing, I think you can run yourself ragged, but I think you have to be very calculated with how you do it. You're what we like to call and what Cardone likes to call it, right, is the quickest way to cash, right? You literally went out and knocked. Okay. That takes, for a lot of guys, it takes a lot of courage, man. A lot of guys aren't going to ever do that. They're always trying to find a way to skirt the hard thing,
Yeah.
The cash is at the other end of the door. And Cody, you knew that. You were just like, your house is dirty.
It's pretty easy.
You
give me money, I give you clean house.
Yeah, guys are trying to figure out a way. How do I not talk to the customer, but they give me money somehow? What do I do with my hands, kind of thing. I think hustle is very important. I think you have to have a dog-like mentality. I think that you definitely need to follow up on reviews till they die or you die. That's follow up. It's it's going to be a never-ending onslaught. I'm like the Russians in Stalingrad, dude. This is how I am bringing it to the
Aaron's like, the first man gets a pressure washing wand. When he dies, the second man picks up the wand. That's crazy. You just spray until you die. But yeah, it's true with the marketing and the customer side, but that hustle mindset, grind, whatever you want to call it, that dog eat mentality, it also translates over to actually getting the job done, right? Like, had a guy call today. He wanted to buy a rig, and this was the juxt of his phone call. He'd already decided to buy a rig. He was super worried about bringing it back to us at intervals and us doing maintenance on his rig. And I'm like, bro, we're not set up for that. Like, I don't have a shop over here with a guy just wait, back it in. Come on, I'm gonna change oil in it. And he's got like a little ball cap and a cigarette. I don't have that guy. Like, you got to do that, and that's your rig. Like, so especially for the beginner, because you're probably going to start with optimal equipment, which is going to lead to more breakdowns. It's going to lead to more maintenance. If you can't work on it, you just throw your hands up in the air. You can't have that. Like, you're going to be down in a month. So it would behoove you to develop some, I'm going to get this job done, come hell or high water mentality.
Absolutely. So the first one is hustle. And that segues us in. That's a nice segue, Cody, to the second thing you need to start a successful pressure washing business is equipment. And I know that,
Oh, here they go. Here they go. They don't even wash.
They don't even wash that. I'll tell you a story. Today, I actually went out to a house, and this is one of the first houses I was going to clean this season, right? So the equipment, you know me, boy, Mad Max. Hey, we just rolling with it. We gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's so redundant. I got 2 of everything on the dang rig, so I ain't really that worried. But I did not have 2 downstreamers. It caught me. It caught me today. But the second thing, guys, you got to have is equipment. Cody, talk a little bit about what guys need to start off with, how they can get moving with some good equipment, just equipment to get it done, or what is your suggestion there?
Well, we build equipment, and so keep that in mind. Big disclaimer: we build pretty good stuff. We build all kinds of trailers and skid units and all kinds of stuff. So on the soft washing side, this is my personal rant, but guys are always looking for the new mousetrap. You really just need a way to efficiently apply Kim to the surface. All right, so pick your poison there. Whether it's, just if you're on a budget, get that little Northern Tool batch thing, and it's $400 and use it, till it pays for itself, and save up to where you can get to a blendable system. But on the soft wash side, I love a 12 volt. They're just easy. They get the job done, but you got to have some way to put Kim on the building. So like, you could just downstream. Like you said, you could downstream, and that's all you do. You don't really do roofs or stuff that requires heavier or hotter chems. On the pressure side, bro, I used a 4 gallon a minute for years, but I was really heavy roof cleaning focused. That's what we went after. We didn't go and look for concrete. So if you can swing it, get a 5.5 pressure washer, 5.5 gallon a minute pressure washer. That will push your surface cleaner a little better. A good 20-inch surface cleaner. If you can get a tank to feed the pressure washer, that'll save you some headaches. Although you don't have to. You can definitely be profitable with a 4 gallon direct drive little machine. And this is something that's irked me in the past few months is people, they're crapping on that kind of equipment and saying it's homeowner grade, but sometimes that's all a dude can afford. Right? He's got $3,000 that he can maybe scrape together, and he's trying to bootstrap his way up. Hey, dude, it'll work. It's not going to be fun by any means, but it will work.
It's going to be slow.
It's going to be slow.
But that's all right. I think that it's hard to shake a stick at. Say it takes you all day with that 4 gallon to do, a real big driveway. In my neck of the woods, I've done some very large driveways that, are $1,000, and it's a big driveway. But say you make it, it's going to be hard for a guy to shake a stick at $500 to $1,000 a day, even if he's
right.
At your job. Were you making this? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
No. So figure out what you can get, preferably a 5.5, so you can move along a little bit. But if you're using a 4, that's all right.
It'll work.
You just got to get moving.
Yeah. Once you get moving and you've got your basic equipment, just treat it like you're going to throw it away at the end of the year. It's just pitch it, because if you've made, you can trip over 100K in your first year. If you really get out there and push yourself, 70, 80 is very achievable. So that's most guys that are getting into this, they're making $45,000 at their job right now. They're going to go into pressure washing with any luck and a little bit of grind and some basic equipment. Boom, you made 75 grand. All right. Take you 15 or 20 and get you a rig, right? You just like went from a slingshot to an AR-15, buddy. So now you're going to be really, really happy. Now, if you've got the budget, to go out and get a turnkey system, that's great. We're not talking to you right now. We're talking to the beginner dude that's maybe on a budget, because honestly, that's where most guys are.
Sure, absolutely. So start with something you can afford is, the big moral of that story. Start with something.
Hey, something you've talked about in some of your old videos, renting. Hit on that a minute.
Dude, I ain't got no shame in this game. Okay. When it came to me, I was living in my damn van, so I didn't have a choice. I damn sure couldn't afford $1,000 Simpson or whatever those, consumer grade, prosumer, whatever it is at Home Depot. If you are in that situation, you can rent from Home Depot's department, maybe an equipment rental store who does the lifts, and they probably have pressure washers there too. The biggest thing that you have to worry about when it comes to that equipment, if you do plan on spraying chemical, is usually their injector systems are shot. They're full of dirt in like they're like full of concrete, you know what I mean? It's like they have, or they're mounted onto it, like it's built into the pump. So, and they're broke. You see what I'm saying? So you need to, it'll spray water, but you just need to make sure that if you're going to rent, you need to have one that can spray chemical before you leave the joint, or don't pay for it. I've done that with Home Depot before when I was renting. I was like, dude, this thing won't spray chemical. I'm not paying for it. It's got to spray chemical. And I had to go through like a sea of 10 of them to find spray, because Home Depot doesn't sell downstream injectors either, I don't think. So,
I don't think they do.
I tried to find that. So if you're in a pinch, you can rent, and you can go out there and get the job done. But how are you going to get those jobs? Let's segue to the third point here, is your marketing. How are you going to get these jobs coming in? Cody, you touched on a little bit of that old-fashioned shoe leather marketing, man. Like you was out there hitting the streets. Tell me a little bit about how you did it when you first started.
Dude, I mean, we in Roanoke, we barely do got internet down here. Like it's just now like 1998, you know what I'm saying? So we just like, you know what, I'm gonna go out here and knock on some doors, by God. So I made a ton of money door knocking, and I don't give a flip attitude either. And I've got, fortunately, the kind of the gift of gab. So I'm pretty good at cold calling. But here's what I've learned over the last few years is that's like the slowest possible way to do it. That is one fishing pole, right? And we got our Zebco, and you're going to catch a couple. The way that you want to be doing it is massive, drag netting. And that's kind of more where your internet marketing comes into play. Of course, you got a lot of ways you can do it. You can Facebook it. You can do yard signs. I ain't never put the first yard sign out. Don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. So, but it works. I'm not saying that doesn't work. So I ain't fooling with that crap. Say I'm not gonna do it. So Facebook is huge. You can do a lot with Facebook, and that's kind of your realm. So, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I think my brother puts it plainly. He goes, Aaron's really good at making a bunch of money without sweating. That's that was probably my main mission growing up in South Alabama, working on cars with my dad. I was like, dude, I ain't trying to sweat like this. Digital marketing is one of those things. You're putting out yard signs, stuff like that, flyers. in an Alabama summer, in a Tennessee summer, boy, it starts getting a little hot, driving around doing that thing. So, not my favorite way of doing it either, though it does work for some guys in some areas. You will get calls, you will get complaints. You just got to have some thick skin if you're going to do the flyer or the clip flyer or the yard sign or the bandit sign route. The key, if you're going to do bandit signs, I heard this from a guy. I did not invent this, but it was really good. He says, they cannot fine you if they cannot find you.
Yeah.
So don't have your personal number on the bandit sign.
That's a good point.
Have a burner phone with that number that those signs are coming. The calls are coming from those signs. But for me, if a new guy is getting started, I believe in SEO. I don't like Google, but Google still is the king, unfortunately, and I play in that environment. And it has just today sent me 10 pressure washing calls.
Yeah.
Off of my website, right? And
yep.
I really have to work for that. I have a web team that does that, but that's what I recommend the new guy do. Get your website set up, and then start focusing on some of the Facebook ads techniques. Start focusing on posting on Facebook, getting into those digital congregations of moms and buyers and people who are into that shareable culture. That's what a new guy really needs to focus on if he wants to not sweat and still be able to generate some leads and some money coming.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys they're scared of the website. They're scared of SEO because it's mystical, and you're going to spend money and you're going to be just like, I don't know if I just got screwed or not. Because, I'm thinking of a guy, you met him. He's a buddy. He was here at my shop, business owner. Dude's doing well, right? But he's spending money on that, and he don't know if he's getting what he's paying for. You confirm that he is in fact getting what he's paying for, but it with the flyer, the thing about the flyers is I can take the sticky notes, but let's just imagine, okay, I can take these flyers and I can tangibly see that I'm knocking on doors and I'm talking to Mrs. Jones, and I may not even get any jobs, but in my mind, I know I talked to her and maybe she'll call, right? Mm-hmm. The digital is like, it's just this out in the ether. But here's what I can promise you. That's gonna turn into a whole lot more, because your net is just so much bigger. It's going to translate into more jobs. So you're dead on with it. We've experienced it in our business. Just, how many rigs could I have sold going door to door? Like, hey man, you want a soft washing rig? All right, we'll see y'all. We'd be broke. So it's all online, and that's what's caused us to be successful, both on our wash truck that we were running and now where we're at now with building the equipment. So it's everything's about being online.
You have to, and guys really need to understand that stuff is going to take time.
It does.
I have to set a precursor and expectation for people, because a lot of guys getting started in this business because it is so easy to get into. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you can just go get a Home Depot washer and start doing driveways like tomorrow, and a guy can making more money than he was making at his job tomorrow. And if he's got like your hustle, bro, and he's going to knock on doors, dude, he can do well with like a bit of courage and a 4-gallon. Okay.
Yeah.
Truly. And so they think that the same time frame needs to happen with their site and their SEO. And that just ain't the case. All right. There's a guy in your town right now, wherever you may be, unless you're in Roanoke, or a little small town somewhere that doesn't have a huge population. If you're in a major city, if you're in Atlanta, you're going up against Wise Guys. All right. You're going up against him. All right. Because he owns the SEO. I know Bloom. He's a good dude. If you're down in Fairhope, you get to go against my brother Pierce. And Daphne. Like, he owns that SEO. So just saddle up for the long haul. This is where it really separates the men from the boys, and guys who want to do this as a summer hobby, which is fine, or guys who want to take this thing and make a business or possibly a job life zip code move for their family. So just be patient. You do have those things like Facebook and stuff like that that can turn you some profits early, but that website is going to be crucial for year 1, 2. Like year 2, it really starts popping. Year
Yeah.
3, if you're really doing it right, it's going to start really popping.
That should be your tree trunk, and then your other stuff is branches coming off of that.
He said that, a great quote was said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yep.
And so guys wait. Like I've had guys contact me who've been in business for 5 years, still don't have a site. I'm like, bro, just do the site the first day, just so you have the domain. And so it's aging itself. And so Google is aware of what this domain means. It takes time, guys. So marketing, you've got a plethora of ideas here, guys. That's one of the ways that you can go out there and get some jobs. The fourth thing that you're going to need to start a pressure washing business, this is the final one, training. Like, how do you
need some training?
How do you not destroy stuff, Cody? That's the key.
Well, okay, this is not a live video, is it?
No.
We're recording, so I can show a gun then, can I?
I think so. I mean,
let's show one. Let's find out.
Demonetization.
Hey, we'll figure it out later. All right, so here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. That is a Wilson Combat EDC X9. That's my carry gun, right? All right. Aaron's from Alabama. Aaron's a pretty good shot. Out of all of the hundreds of guys I've taken to the gun range, and I'm not a professional gun dude, right? That's just my hobby. And I'm pretty freaking good at shooting. But I've took, hundreds of people to the gun range. And out of those hundreds, I can count on 2 hands and have some fingers left over of people who were safe with their gun handling, who could hit the target, right? Who were not wanky with their manipulations of the gun. They were pretty fluid, with holster draws, with mag changes. They were pretty fluid with all that stuff. Their sight picture was right. Their stance looked about right. So everybody, you tell me if I'm right, everybody in Alabama can shoot, can't they? To hear them tell it.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, I've been shooting cans. But when we go to the range and I'm shooting a target and I'm hitting, and they're hitting a group that's this big, the proof is not there in the pudding. So let's just bring this back to pressure washing. And most dudes have an allergic reaction to being told that they need to take a class to learn how to shoot their pistol, but they suck. They suck. They suck. They can't hit nothing. I'm like, shoot that bullseye right there. And they're 9 inches off at 10 feet. I'm like, bro, you missed the whole dude. Like, you suck. So we don't want to be, as guys, right? And I use that as an example because that's kind of a guy thing. We don't want to be told that we need some instruction on stuff, right? It's just, we have this thing that I can figure it out, and you can. You absolutely can. I figured out shooting, but you know how much money it's cost me? Pallets and pallets and pallets of ammunition, probably 40 Saturdays a year. I go out there. I don't do baseball. I don't do anything else. I don't do fishing. I don't do hunting. I shoot guns. That's what I shoot guns. So if I'd have just took all that ammo and translated into like 3 classes with some good dudes, I'd have been shooting really good a long time ago. Do you need to be a successful pressure washer? Do you need a year worth of training? Obviously not. Do you need 6 months of training? Obviously not, right? We can go to the extreme and know what the too much number is. And we can go down to the other extreme and know what the too little is. Do you need 5 minutes of training? Well, obviously not, because you know what the frick you're doing. Like, what we were talking earlier, what are some things you can screw up in this business? What can you screw up?
You can screw up landscape to the tune. I had a guy tell me, he said he had a $4 million home. He says, I have $250,000 worth of landscape, and I will be flying my drone over this house after you're done. And I will be like, he let me know, right, that there was, that guys is the tune that there will be a lawsuit if something is broken, and
yep.
You don't do it right, I will see it. And we aced it, and he was super happy. But that's because I knew how to mitigate any type of landscape situation when it came to Kim.
Yeah. What about
the guy? I mean, there's a lot you can destroy.
What about 60 grand in Sherwin-Williams?
Lord, let's talk about it. Now, see, some of you guys are unaware that certain paints out there in the marketplace will run if you put chemicals on them, meaning that customer is going to now decide to file a lawsuit that you're going to pay to have their home completely repainted. There's just a lot of variables that, you know, guys they just toss them into this bucket of like, you can figure it out. And it's like, yeah,
yeah, yes, you can figure it out.
When that letter arrives in the mail, or that gentleman pulls up in an Altima and says,
he gonna be in an Altima though,
with a beanie, and he says, "You've been served." All right.
Yep.
That's, you know, we don't like putting that type of weight on it, but these real life situations that do happen because of lack of training.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, like, we're not going to be doctors and lawyers. All right. We're not going to go learn how to TIG weld aluminum. That takes a lot of, you know, training and stuff, but not as much as a doctor, but it takes a bunch. So where do we fall on the spectrum, to use a lefty term? You know, where do we fall on the spectrum of training? Well, I think you probably need, if you don't know jack about exterior cleaning, all right, you don't need 6 weeks of training. You don't need 3 weeks. You probably need a couple of good, if you're pretty smart, you probably pick it up in a day or two, right? So our training class at Southeast is tailored around that guy. Right? He's got pretty good sense. He kind of gets the gist of it. He's going to sit through this 1 day long training event, and then we're going to go out in the field and actually wash something. And that's probably going to answer about 80% of his questions. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to throw at him that he's not going to retain because it's a lot of information in a day. And then he'll dial it in, you know, and he still may have some hiccups and stuff, but that's usually about what average dude needs to be confident when he gets out there on his first job, to start cleaning roofs, cleaning stucco, cleaning different substrates, different kind of organic versus non-organic staining, all that stuff. A day, right? And then if you're lucky and you got somebody in your area that you can shadow for maybe another day, that's probably going to get you about where you need to be. Now, you can get caught in a feedback loop, right, where you're analysis paralysis and you're trying to learn and learn and learn. At a certain point, you just got to go out there and put your hand to the plow. But I'd be cautious about just jumping out there and spraying bleach on stuff and mixing chemicals and all that kind of stuff, because you can absolutely get in a mess with the training. So some training, right? You don't need to get a doctorate degree in soft washing and pressure washing. What do you think about the training? How did you figure this stuff out? Did you take any classes?
Man, I was pressure washing when I was really young. And here's the thing. I had been using high pressure. We literally used to wand like 1/10 of a mile worth of driveway. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Like it at least.
Yeah, buddy.
I didn't know surface cleaners existed.
We didn't know either.
I didn't know the little round spinny thing, you know, it didn't exist.
Nobody told us.
So, you know, when it came to like the chems and stuff like that, I did take some training and learned on, you know, specialty chems and stuff like that, and roof cleaning and certain stuff like that. But I think that this, you know, like our Serious Starter Boot Camp, it's one of those things that a guy can come to. He gets 2 days. He gets a full day with you, a full day with me on the marketing side, you know, to learn how to get all of the things that he needs to be set up. You know, I'm blown away that a lot of guys who come don't have some of these certain basic things that they need to have, just free stuff that's available that you just need to be on. You need to have your name out there in these areas. And I cover that. And that's why, you know, we have this event coming up at the end of the month, the Serious Starter Boot Camp. And guys, you know, sign up. I know that I don't know how many tickets we got left, but we always have a great group.
Yeah, I think, well, we sold it out. This will be event number 3. We did one January, February. This will be March's event. So we sold it out both of the other times. I think we're at about 12 tickets sold so far. I could be wrong. So we're roughly halfway sold out. So if you guys, we haven't made a video. Aaron's been out of pocket. I've been super busy in the shop. We meant to do this like a week ago, but yeah, if you guys want to come and hang out with us for 2 days, it'll be a Friday and a Saturday. It's the end of this month. Is that the 26th, I think?
I think the 26th and the 27th, I believe.
Yes. So lunch is provided both days. We're going to take you out to eat both days. The Friday is a entire day of the technical side, like you said. Then we will go out in the field and be doing a roof cleaning, a house wash, a partial driveway cleaning. I already got that job scheduled, so I'm just kind of saving it for the training day there. And then the Saturdays is right back in here at 9 a.m. and then there's a bunch of Q&A. There's a whole lot of you and I both have put out a ton of free stuff on YouTube, and you can sit there for a month and pick through all that stuff, and you'll be fairly squared away. But it'd probably be a lot easier if you just come get it all in one lick. If you feel like that would be beneficial to you, we'd love to have you come. We've gotten really good feedback on the last 2 classes, so we're excited to do this one again in March.
And there's definitely, when it comes to these events, and I know that a lot of people who have come, and we'll roll some testimonials and stuff here at the end of the video, but I do reserve, like, a lot of this stuff I don't talk about on YouTube. I'm not going to. I just won't, because I've had to pay, my own courses, my own mastermind groups that I've learned, because I do SEO for guys now. I market for guys. I market for my own business. I have lead generation that I do for guys. And so some of the stuff that you're going to learn at Serious Starter, you will never hear me talk about.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to be a free thing. I don't believe in free. I ain't getting it if it's free.
Nope, don't want it. There was a jackass that commented on one of my old videos. Yes, I did call you a jackass if you happen to watch this, but he commented, his video's like 3 years old, bro. And we were washing this beadboard ceiling, right? It was nasty. It just made a good before and after, a little quick video. And little toe commented and said, oh, I thought I was going to get some tips of how to do this. I didn't realize it was a commercial for your company. Well, you dang right it is a commercial. Like, at a certain point, for Cody and Aaron and the other guys that we were talking about, Jason Guyman, he's got training. There's all kinds of guys. For us to be able to give you the free stuff, we got to get paid at some point. Like, I got kids at home that got to eat. Plus, I like Wilson Combat, so they're expensive. Price got to go up. Like, you got to pay for something.
No, and I think that's one of the things that it's funny you speak about Jason, is that when you open up your pocket, he said he had a good quote. When you open up your pocketbook, you start to open up your mind.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I have learned for myself, is that when I'm willing to stroke the check, okay, and it's been a struggle, dude. Me growing up in Podunk, Alabama, right? Like, none of my family would ever spend the money that I've spent on training and learning and masterminds and courses. They just ain't gonna do it. I told them how much some of my private clubs cost that I'm a part of to be around some of the guys I'm around. Like, the hell you do? Good. You can buy a nice truck for that. You know what I mean?
That's right. We don't want a truck.
I'm trying to get some more money in my pocket, bro. I got to get around these guys who know what they're doing. The guys who have been to the mountaintop. They got the scrolls, man. I got to around these cats. And so that's one thing. We want to invite you out to the Serious Starter event Cody and I are putting on. It's a great event, and we look forward to seeing you out there.